a very brave soul to be able to go into that darkness with their eyes open and really feel it and really face it. And it's about facing your dragon, facing the power that you didn't know you had. And so it's been chasing you in your nightmares, and you know, it's the thing. Scorpio is the thing we're most afraid of, whatever it is. Because Scorpio occupies you, it takes you over so thoroughly. And I'm calling that a Scorpio quality because Pluto moves so slowly that every child, for the first couple of years of their life, and you know, depending on whether it retrogrades back and forth, usually the first 7 or 8 years of our lives, Pluto can remain within a conjunct relationship with our natal Pluto, because it takes so long to separate, to move away. And the last time we talked about the transition between Virgo and Libra, and there's a transition between Libra and Scorpio too, because Libra is about love. It's about that place where we open and trust. But what happens if we get betrayed? What happens if we lose love? And what happens when love is consummated? Both of those are Scorpio experiences. You know, if we're heartbroken, that pain, that anguish, that takes us right into our depths, where we have to face all those feelings. And they're not this life feelings, they're past life feelings. They're karmic issues that we've never resolved in our eons of existence as consciousness. And then if love is consummated, if your love is fulfilled and you have this beautiful mergence and you become one, that's Scorpio too. That's the positive side. It's the most insanely pleasurable bliss you can imagine, and it's the most agonizing, horrible heartbreak and pain and torment that you can imagine. Scorpio is the peaks and the valleys. Scorpio is like a black hole in the self. Wherever Pluto is, whatever's in the 8th house is this like vibrating, pulsating thing that says don't go there, but it also compels us to go there. It's a very push-pull, compulsion, repulsion feeling. And it's the reason we have to evolve, because we can't live with it. We can't just ignore it. It won't allow it. So people with a strong Scorpio are going to be very emotional. And depending on what their personal evolutionary level of understanding and evolvement is, in other words, depending on how in tune they are with their own emotional power and how much they've processed their lives, their karma, they're either going to be incredibly empathic and compassionate and deep and rich and rewarding to know, or they're going to be kind of cold and distant and unavailable and difficult to know. You know, often people with a strong Scorpio, when they're early on in their evolutionary path, you can't really touch them. They in themselves feel very, very far away from everything. Scorpio's appearance can often be a coping strategy for how to deal with the level of vulnerability and deep emotionality that they really have, because they feel like they're too much, they're too intense for the world. So they feel like they have to protect themselves and other people from having to know too much about who they are. It's really very complex because it's the fixed water sign, and the fixed mode of all of the elements is the vastness, it's the wholeness of that element, it's the unchanging eternal verity. And Scorpio is the truth. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And because we as a society are so invested in denying the truth, that the Scorpio people feel very lonely with the things that they know, that no one else seems to want to recognize.